Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Another beautiful day here in the sunny side of Western Massachusetts. It is, of course, 20 minutes of noon, almost July 5th, 2014, as I'm doing this video. So happy belated 4th of July. Anyways, what I really want to talk about today in this video, or tonight in this video, is I want to talk about America. And I want to explain that from my perspective and what I believe in is I believe America right now is currently under demonic possession. And I'm going to go ahead and hopefully this will be a quick video. I believe it will be a quick video, but I'm just going to go ahead and make my point. And let me go ahead and get into the first stage of demonic possession. So there's essentially three stages of demonic possession. The first one is manifestation, the second one is infestation, and the third one is mounting. And basically, let me go ahead and I'll go one by one and give you examples of what I believe are what is in each stage. So, for example, I'll talk about the Federal Reserve. I'll talk about certain other things that's happened throughout American history to sort of point to my argument as of why America right now is under demonic control. So, anyways, let me go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with manifestation. The first stage. I'm going to go ahead and read this. This is out of a website. It's called becomeliving.god.com. So let's go ahead and get started. This manifestation is when the spirit first appears, or when the operator first makes contact with the spirit. If the manifestation happens spontaneously, the individual will feel much more out of control of the situation than if the manifestation is coerced through evocation. And of course, I'll just read parts of these, and I'm going to put the link down on the description box so you can go ahead and check out the website I'm reading from. That way you know that I'm not just making this stuff up. Someone else wrote this. Anyways, what is going on here? This is talking about when the demonic is first appearing to the person. Now, when in history has this happened to America? When has the demonic entity first appeared to America, or first had been able to gain control of America? It's during the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, when Woodrow Wilson signed that into law. And later he regretted signing into law. There's a quote out there somewhere where he talks about, you know what, I just essentially gave away my country. I gave away the sovereignty of my country. And of course you could look that up. It's all over the internet. But Woodrow Wilson was very deeply saddened by what he had done in that situation. What are some of the other things that had occurred since then? What other things had made the demonic first appear? Well, what else happened was when Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard. That was part of the manifestation stage. Because once he took us out of the gold possession, that's when the United States was able to print as many dollars as they can, export all that inflation throughout the world so they could go ahead and create all these different asset bubbles. So of course you have all the short-term wealth that people are able to gain, but essentially that is going to pop. So that's what really allowed the spending to spiral out of control. And what are some other examples of the manifestation that America is experiencing? Well, America had established a welfare class around the mid-1930s, when I believe it was Roosevelt who had first allowed for food stamps to be put in place, among other things, and they had work programs for those who were unemployed. So there was an introduction to the welfare class during that time period. It was a very, very small welfare class, and the welfare programs themselves were very small. But as you know, throughout history, they've just done nothing more than expand. So you had that going on. And of course, I'm not getting too deep in the history here. I don't have the knowledge and know-how to fit everything in the 10-minute video, but I'm just giving you some little tiny examples of what my point is. And so let me go ahead and talk about stage 2, which is infestation. This is when a spirit infests the life of the individual outside of the ritual invocation in various ways. The spirit or spirits will demonstrate that they are still there, and they will often do things to bring attention to their presence. This can manifest in poltergeist activity, phantom voices, footsteps, or in the constant felt presence of the spirit. So what's going on there? Basically, that's exactly what the globalists are trying to do. They're trying to continue to keep us keep our attention to them. They're trying to keep us to pay, for example, the false flag alerts. When 9/11 had happened, post 9/11, and of course 9/11 was part of this as well. But post 9/11, when Bush went out and expanded the police force, expanded the federalization of the police, or the militarization of the police, he of course signed the Patriot Act into law. Making it so that the United States can spy on the American people. So you see now that the entity that is now controlling the U.S. government is trying to get more and more involved in our lives. They're trying to make it more well known that, hey, we have your government now. Now we're going to go and get you. And that's exactly what's going on in the U.S. government. So those are two examples right there. Just in general, the post 9/11 environment. What else happened during the manifestation period? The infestation period. Well, you had the start of the wars. Now, from the 1940s on, we've had a huge expansion in the U.S. military, and of course, the type of wars that people did not want to get into, we started getting into wars such as Vietnam, Korea, going into Iraq, Afghanistan, now in Libya, Ukraine. So we've started wars that we don't want to be in, that the American citizens don't want to be in, but of course the military operates as a corporation. It's in their best interest to go out and to make as much money as they can by attacking different countries and seizing all their resources. So I believe that's part of the infestation period. It's just, and the reason why I'm saying that is because this is just more intrusion in other people's lives, because we all know people, we all have relatives who do serve, or a lot of us do, who do serve in the U.S. military or have served in the U.S. military. And they're constantly being called up to go to Iraq and Afghanistan. And that, of course, is a major intrusion of our lives, particularly if those individuals are a spouse, or they're either a husband or a wife, or they're some kind of a partner. Or they're a father, they're a mother, if you're looking at it from the perspective of a child. What else is going on in the infestation period? Well, what else is going on is we are all using the U.S. dollar. We're all dependent on the U.S. dollar. Most of us are. So, of course, now they have control over us because they're the ones who issue that currency. They're the ones who can continue to tax us. So now that we're dealing with more and more taxes, they're saying, hey, we got to keep this gravy train running. We're going to continue to tax you. Now, of course, you have Obamacare. You have, in fact, getting into the act where they can go overseas and demand private financial information about each individual who has offshore bank accounts. So that's into place right now. So you have the continued acceleration of the U.S., the destruction of the U.S. dollar, and that's part of the infestation period, because now you're starting to see the inflation rise. You're starting to see that inflation rise, and the entities that are controlling the U.S. dollar are sitting back and they're laughing because people don't understand that this is actually a demonic entity at work. They just think it's politics, but it's not politics. It's not at all politics. It has nothing to do with the left and right. It has everything to do with whatever spiritual entity is controlling the U.S. government. All right, moving on. Mounting. This is when the demonic physically enters into whatever entity that is attacking. This stage of possession is when the body and mind of the individual need to adapt to allow the spirit to take control. If you are attempting to become willfully possessed in a ritual setting, you will feel the spirit entering you as an almost electrical force, and as it nests inside of you, you'll feel your sensory, nervous, and muscular faculties fading from your conscious control and being controlled by something else. Now, what I believe was going on there is, right now America isn't really fully possessed yet. We're almost there, but we're not fully possessed, because what else needs to happen for us to be fully possessed, or for the country as a whole to be fully possessed? Well, the United States need to default on their loan, or they need to default. In other words, they need to roll out a new currency, and they need to basically restart the whole system all over again. They know once they restart the whole system all over again, the Chinese and the Russians or whoever can come in and use us, the Americans, as collateral for all the debt that they're not getting, they're not getting paid back to them. So you see what's going on is, now they're using the U.S. dollar to control the body and to control the mind. Because, again, with hyperinflation, the fact that we're experiencing such inflation in this country right now, most of us have to work 2 or 3 jobs just to get by, and sometimes that's not even enough to get by. And you look at the grocery store, you look at the prices of milk, you look at the prices of meat, you look at the fact that chicken is at an all-time high right now. So we have to work, 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 work. Meanwhile, there's no free will there, because, again, we have to continue to work. We have to continue to work to feed the system. And the way that the demonic entity takes control, finally is able to take control, is when it completely and utterly breaks your will. And as the inflation has crept up over time, the more and more that's essentially had broken the will of the American citizen. Because, as you know, you look at the average everyday American citizen, a lot of them are completely complacent. They don't understand what's going on. You have all the fluoride in the water, the GMO foods. People are constantly being poisoned. And, of course, because of the financial industry and the way that it is right now, there's so much stress on the average everyday American, that now the entity is able to take complete control of your body, because it's using that body to go to work, to produce for the beast system. And now that they have all these microchips out, that they can, these little rice-sized microchips that they can put in your brain, now they can, pretty much just sit in the Bahamas somewhere, the elites, that push a button and you get up from your chair and you go to work. We're entering into the system right now, and this is really the whole main point of this video, is we're entering into the system right now where there's no free will. And there's very little free will left now because of how high inflation is. The more we continue to get robbed, the more our free will is gone. And the more our freedom is gone. So the more our freedom is gone, the more our free will is gone. The more our free will is gone, the more we become parts in the beast system, the beast machine that has now been established here in America. And thus, America is now occupied by demonic entities. And we are, as a country, possessed by demons. Demons are making policies in this country that control each and every one of us. And that's my whole point of this video. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.